Bridge Show that we do here every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central, our Ability Podcast Network. Um, we have a great guest today, so over to you, Suzanne.
All right. Thank you, Emily. And welcome, everybody, to the Aspie Bridge. Here we are. We're standing at the threshold in between victimhood and I'm stuck and going into society with your strengths to become positive members of another organization, or as I've been working on for the last 5 weeks, becoming your own leader, becoming your own boss, taking the strengths you have, which you have a lot of, don't let anyone tell you you don't, taking your strengths and going into society and saying, this is what I have to offer, and knowing that you do have a lot to offer. And today, up until now, let me just start it this way. Up until now, we've been having wonderful guests for the last 3 sessions. Tell us all about what it's like to be a leader with ADHD, with autism, and with both sometimes, as I know I am. And I think my guest will tell you all about her situation in a moment. DaniMarie Ralston joins us today with a very special way to take running a business to the next step. And up until now, we've had people tell us how they've done it. Now, DaniMarie is going to help you to understand how you can get involved and take that business to the next level, because now you will have emotional and physical support beside you called body doubling. Body doubling is when you turn on your computer and you don't just stare at it, you're actually working and doing your own checklist of activities that you want to accomplish. But instead of letting the outside world impact on you and say, oh, I should go do a load of laundry. Oh, I got to do the dishes in my sink. Oh, I have to go to the bathroom. Oh, I have to. It helps you by being accountable. When someone else is in the room, there's something interesting that happens. Is you no longer want to get up and do other things in your house. Be called to a phone call that might take you an hour or such. You now have someone that you're accountable, and they're accountable to you. They want to know that they're getting their work done. So without further ado, I'd love to welcome you to DaniMarie Ralston. Welcome, Dani. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you found out who you were?
So my name's Danielle Ralston. I go by DaniMarie on Facebook. I am an ADHD entrepreneur. I turned 50 years old this year. I've actually known that there was something not right. And I say not right in a very sarcastic way. I have always struggled. And when I was a child, when I was about 4 or 5, they diagnosed me as mentally retarded, because back in the 70s, 80s, especially in a rural farm community, they didn't have words for what ADHD back then, especially not for a girl. Autism and girls could not be autistic back then. And
I don't even think the boys were known to be autistic until
unless
at
you
least
were
99 when I had my daughter.
Yes, it really my son in 98. I had my son in 97, but starting to get him diagnosed through the late 90s, early 2000s. Even then, there was those barriers to that. And so I was diagnosed as mentally retarded, and those aren't words that you throw around often or hear anymore, but I had to struggle to read, I struggled to talk, I struggled to write, all of these things. And by the time I was about 12, somebody realized I was ADHD and dyslexic and a couple other learning disabilities. I have an auditory processing disorder, which is very normal in the autism spectrum of our world, but sensory processing issues, all of that. That ADHD diagnosis and dyslexia opened the world to me. I went from not operating at grade level to operating above grade level, because of course, when somebody unlocked my brain was like, oh my gosh, I can do this. I can do all of these things. And I've been on a lifelong journey getting my son diagnosed with autism when he was young. Also got me diagnosed with autism, and I got that ADHD combination, which of course we didn't have that ADHD word until like the last 5 years or so. That combination is finally really starting to be understood. I've understood it because I live it every day.
Right.
And I have been coaching in the neurodivergent world, autism and ADHD for 25 years. So long before TikTok decided that ADHD coaching was a trend, I have been doing it a long time. I'm also an unlicensed therapist. Don't like the rules and regulations to be a therapist. So unlicensed therapist, and have spent a long time creating spaces for us. It was just for entrepreneurs for a long time. Now I have a whole app. We have a desktop app right now and are going in the app stores at the end of the month. And we offer body doubling and a full app with task tracking and capacity tracking. What's your energy level today? What can your brain handle today? What can it handle today? Tracking your food, because we're bad at eating, remembering to eat, or tracking our food allergies. That's the nightmare for us. Tracking all of the things we've given people. Like, I think we've have 22 trackers inside of the app that you can choose and create the way you want. But we offer that with real humans all day long. We do 10 hours a day of body doubling. And you and I were talking about body doubling. It is huge because it regulates our emotions. It regulates our energy. It regulates our disorganization and dysfunctions, our executive dysfunction. And it helps us just get things done, whether that's remembering to eat lunch, remembering to take that sip of water, remembering to clean our kitchen, fold our laundry. I have to fix the DNS on my website. I have to build a website. I have to do marketing. I have to write notes for my client call. I have to. As business owners, we have so many things we think we have to do, and we're trying to do them in the neurotypical way. So by being on body doubling, we can learn, oh no, I got a better tool for you. I got a better trick for you. Here, this is how you do it. This is how you can make this easy. And we're on all day long with each other. About 80% of our users are entrepreneurs. So we're all talking. We're all neurodivergent. We're all talking all day long. We're keeping each other entertained, which gets dopamine.
That's great. Yes.
We need dopamine. Sometimes we're completely silent and we're working. Sometimes we are so not silent and working. But we're doing all of the things. We had people feeding their chickens and washing the laundry and doing dishes. We had somebody do yoga the other day, which was way too entertaining to the rest of us. We were all watching. But we just come together so we don't do life or business alone. It's so important to not do things alone and borrow from other people's experience. They could be one step ahead of you. They could be 100 steps ahead of you.
Yeah. I'm constantly saying that to one of my clients. You're either reaching up or you're reaching down. You're reaching up because you're getting support from someone else who's been there and knows how to solve that problem. You're reaching down because you have a skill that you want to help others to come up on board and help them, support them emotionally and physically, meaning showing them a way that might work better for them. So yeah, I'm constantly saying you're one hand up and one hand down. And you're the human chain that makes this all come together. And I love the idea of body doubling because, and I'm about to start an organization, a live-in community, with that same idea. It's like no one should age alone.
Never.
We need each other. And living in isolation, I think that we're going to be the first generation. And when I say that is, as we hit 60, we're no longer going to be in our own houses. We may be in tiny houses in a bigger community. Yes, that may happen, so that when you need that downtime, you're not feeling like you need to apologize. But at the same time, you're still going to... I'm working with a group right now where we're going to have a living community, which means that you can be in your tiny house, but know that there's someone like right next door who actually cares. Not a neighbor who might be working and they might knock on your door. No, we're talking about people who actually care. You can go to an enrichment program. You can do a business right there in your home. You can do so many things. So this body doubling to the next level would be the community. But why wait until you get into a community? Let's do this body doubling now while you're still able to get up and keep going with your life. Because I'll tell you, quite honestly, in the spiritual realm, the more it's science too. A body in motion stays in motion. if you give up now, you're giving up.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get in motion, you stay in motion.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And even a body in motion stays in motion, a body at rest stays at rest, but understanding that sometimes we need that bridge between rest and motion, but we need it in a way that we need it. When you're neurodivergent, you need a very different kind of rest than everybody else does. Rest for me on a Saturday could be watching a movie, playing a game on my phone, reading a book, and building software or something on my computer all exactly at the same time. That's restful to me. That's
Yes.
not restful to everybody else. And you can't explain that to somebody who doesn't get that. They look at you like you're insane. But if you're in a community of people who you don't have to explain yourself to.
Oh, yes. Yes. My community will be neuro-inclusive friendly, sensory friendly, and we're even going to have this thing where we're going to put out flags when we want company, and we're going to take flags in when we don't want company, when we need that rest time, that downtime. So, yeah, I mean, the neurodivergent time away is equally as important as the neurodivergent time with others.
Uh-huh.
And it's so important. So, what do people misunderstand about executive functioning? Why is it so difficult for us to run a business when the neurotypical people just say, "I gotta eat the frog, I gotta do this, I gotta do that," they just do it. I mean, why do we struggle more than the others? I mean, we're not less intelligent, that's for sure.
Absolutely not. So I just wrote a book on executive functioning called Misrouted. It's for ADHD and ADHD women specifically. However, I just had 4 or 5 men buy it because they were like, I love this. This is exactly what I need. So I guess I shouldn't have labeled it just for women. But executive dysfunction, what affects executive dysfunction? Your capacity. What is your capacity today? What can your brain handle? Are you stressed out? Are you overwhelmed? Are you buzzy and unable to like concentrate because there's too many thoughts? You need to understand that first, because if you don't understand your capacity first, there is no function to go anything else. Where's your sensory overwhelm? If your sensory overwhelm is dialed up to 11 or 5,000, then we can't process and we can't get things done. We need to recognize our patterns, our capacity, our energy, our sensory needs, our food and hydration needs. We need to see our own patterns in that. And once we start to recognize that, we can increase our executive function. And number 2, we don't function well in a bubble of trying to make decisions. And when we get stuck in lots and lots of decisions, we have decision fatigue. And when we have decision fatigue, our executive dysfunction drops. Again, do you want to know what the solve is for all of those things? Being with other people who understand us. And once you're in the room with them often, you get to know them. We had somebody come into our body doubling this morning and we said, why are you here? You don't look like you need to be here today. You look like you just need to rest today. And she's like, thank you. I couldn't give myself permission to rest.
Oh, well, that's cool. Yeah, exactly.
So she signed out. She was with us for 5 minutes and we sent her away because that's what she needed today. We get used when you build community and a community that operates like you do, then you start to build function for yourself. In last week, I can tell you the same person wrote like 5 articles for her Substack and was doing all of these amazing things because her capacity could handle it then. And we showed her we helped her with decision fatigue, so she knew what to do, and she was able to like focus and get a lot of things done. So when we start to recognize the patterns, we have days that we can't do anything. Fine, no problem. That's awesome, because you want to know what? When you do have the ability to do things, we maximize what we're capable of doing then. But also somebody who, like, there's a few of us entrepreneurs. I'm obviously a business coach for ADHD and ADHD entrepreneurs. And I'll say, well, have you worked on your top 3 things in your buckets that you need to handle for your business today? And they'll be like, oh, I forgot that bucket. I forgot to do marketing today. Okay, let's work on your marketing and get that other, and we can work on it together. Because community makes everything easier. Now, for me, I've built and sold 6 businesses now. I'm building I hope to be we have a goal for 160,000 members in our app by end of 2027. And we're at almost 1,000 right now. just to get people in, to give people that sense of community. We have online community. So if you don't like to be on camera and you just want to text chat, we have that for you. We have camera, body doubling. We have app with all of our task management and capacity and food and all of those things in there. So we have that for people that need low stimulation version. And then we have Zoom, where if you want to come in and chat all day long, we got you. We'll chat with you. We'll walk you through every single step of everything you need to do. We've got all of the things. When you have a community that gets you, you could do amazing things. I've published 2 books in the last week. I've written 3 pieces of software in the last 6 months. And everything is out there and producing money for my business because I have a group that helps me get all of those things done. Because even though my brain knows how to do all of those things, the taking the action piece is very, very hard for me without other accountability.
And I would say I'm the reverse from the standpoint that taking action is just one thing with I've gone into a training, but I need the body doubling for knowing how to run the business, the sequentials of running the business, and how much to invest and when not to invest. So I'm from the other angle where I hyper focus. When I get into something and I pattern recognize it and I get into something, it's hard to get me to stop, to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when I need someone to say, no, I think you've accomplished enough. You're time to switch gears. So I can go to the opposite extreme of staying up and working all night, and then I'm exhausted the next day. So this is where I think body doubling would be beneficial to myself, in that it would remind me, oh, you haven't eaten since you walked in here 7 hours ago.
Yep. Oh, and we do that for each other often. Hey, Danielle, I haven't seen you take a drink recently. How you doing? What you doing? Oh, yeah. I should go find where I left my water bottle because I left it God knows where in my house, Or have you worked on your marketing today? Have you written that website page you said you wanted to write? Have you, whatever it is, we remind you to do those things.
That's great. That's great. I know that could help so many people. I mean, and they don't even have to be running a business, just daily life of getting the things done that they
we have stay-at-home moms who come in to get their house clean and come in to find a little bit of themselves. We have sessions on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, and we have quite a few crafters that come in to finish doing their diamond art and their crocheting and the building the Legos and all of that. They come in to do those things to make them be a little more of themselves.
Yes. When I do my scrapbooking, I always say it's 80% social and 20% productive, which increases the impact of what you actually get done. It doesn't sound like much when you think about the 80% social, 20% product, but you don't realize how much intense 20% of you can get 7 pages of scrapbooking done when you're socializing and having fun. Whereas
exactly,
if you do it by yourself, you might get 5% done.
And there's so much. You get endorphins and serotonin and dopamine, and it decreases overwhelm and decreases your stress. And not just doing crafts, but just being in community. So add the crafts to that, the amount of dopamine that you can get from that time and accomplishment. Instead of having that endless pile of crafts sitting in the corner shaming you for just never getting to it or never getting done, or I forgot to do that again, I meant to do that. That removes a lot of that for us.
Right. Now, here's the interesting thing, and this is a very big question. When I started feeling like there was something different about me, I first started looking at ADHD for me. And I said, no, I'm way too pattern recognized, and it drives me crazy if someone's doesn't do things according to my pattern. I'm hyper focused. I said, I can't be ADHD. I get too hyper focused on things, and I get too rigid on things have to be a certain way. I can't be ADHD. But then I come over to my business and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. No, I should do that. No, sequence is where I started to see my ADHD come in because I couldn't figure out what sequence to do it. Can you help my listeners understand what's ADHD, what's autism? I want to say profile because we're not all the same, but a typical challenge that the ADHD person has that an autistic person doesn't have, and where do they merge?
Okay, so ADHD. Okay, let's do the big topics. So ADHD is attention regulation. I disagree with that because it's more about overstimulation of attention than understimulation of attention.
I agree. It is
When you're ADHD, you seek novelty. Everything has to be new and different. Once you get bored of something, you're not going to get it done. Impulsivity, and that's only some types of ADHD get really, really impulsive. Easily bored. Like I said, novelty. We get easily bored with something when we're ADHD. Socially impulsive. You will start a conversation about something wild and weird and doesn't belong in the conversation. We're the ones that are doing that when we're out being social. Forget routines. There's no such thing as a good routine when you're ADHD. It's not going to happen. Executive dysfunction, time management, planning, time blindness for ADHD people is huge.
Yes.
But we can still hyper focus on things that we like and we love, like you wouldn't believe. And now with autism, we process information completely differently. It's not just an overabundance of attention, though that is absolutely part of it for those of us with autism. But we're processing information on a much higher level, which is overwhelming. So it's not that we can't process. It's that we're processing so fast and so much that we get lost in that processing sometimes and aren't present. We like things that are extremely predictable. If you're autistic, you want predictability. You want it to be the same every single time, to the point of you want to eat the same exact thing for breakfast for years on end. And in the same order and from the same manufacturer. Like nothing can change about what you eat sometimes. We tend to be more deliberate and more cautious. We think things through before we take action on them. We can happily repeat the things that we like to do over and over and over and over and over again. We don't get bored with them. They call us, we're socially awkward. I think we just get bored with conversation easily, and we want good conversation and not surface. And neurotypical people have this whole entire social language that makes zero sense and is not logical and is not spoken. What's the point? Go away.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I have a lot of I noticed lately that I work at a store too, and I can be small and chit chat, hi, how are you? And then I clam up. I don't say anything while I'm doing my job. But then I'll go to family and I forget to tell family that, hi, how are you? I forget the small talk because I get right into what I want to talk about. And they're like, well, you didn't ask how I was. You didn't think you didn't think to ask me. I'm like, wait a minute, you're my family. Of course I care about you, but do I have to say, hi, how are you? How are you doing today? I mean, you would hope that family would recognize that that's a built-in part of the whole system, but they want to have that small chit chat that the autistic person's like, no, I just want to get right into it. I'll save the small chit chat for when I don't know somebody.
Exactly. Chit chat for like that is how you feel somebody out, figure out if you want to talk to them.
Right.
Once I know you, I don't need to do that anymore. So we have executive dysfunction, but for completely different reasons than the ADHD people. We tend to overly obsess about time. We tend to have trouble processing decisions because there's too many decisions. So our executive dysfunction is because of too many things, and ADHD people just don't pay attention to it at all, and it's gone, and they don't want to do it. And where an ADHD person can hyperfocus, we have deep, sustained special interests. And one of the classic ones that most everybody in your audience is going to get, you get a 5-year-old autistic little boy and dinosaurs are cars, and they know every scientific piece of information and everything at 5 years old, because they've hyper focused on every single little bit of those things. That carries over into adulthood. Executive function and dysfunction is one of my favorite subjects. So ask me anything, because I will tell you. Like I said, I just wrote a whole book on it because it's my thing. Now you get ADHD, which is the combination of autism and ADHD. And I think the thing that most of the world is not understanding, it's not being ADHD and autistic at the same time. It is a completely different diagnosis and a different way of operating compared to the other two. Some days I am very, very ADHD. I will admit that. Some days I'm very, very autistic. I will admit that. But when I'm deep in that middle, I'm both have a attention regulation issue and a different processing information. So I have a hard time finding the information and focusing in on it. And there's too many things all at the same time. We want both novelty and predictability at the same time, which means we're always struggling with how do we plan? How do we get things done? What do we do? How do we do it? Because our brains are literally butting, each side of our brain is fighting each other all day long. That's exhausting.
Yeah, that's like that. Isn't that like where the sequencing challenge comes in? Because we have all these emergence of ideas, and it's like, which one takes precedence over the other one? I don't know. So then you end up doing nothing because you can't figure out what the right move is.
Yeah, you get stuck in that indecision. We get so bored by routines, but then we're distressed without a routine, and we fall apart if our routine is not followed exactly. That I drive myself insane with that.
I do too.
And then we have periods of time where we're hyper focused and very social and can do all of the things. And then we have times where you better not talk to me, don't touch me, don't look at me. I need complete black and white silence, go away. There is, and there's very little in between for a lot of us. We love to create routines. We love to create a plan. Oh, we love to design a new operations for ourselves, buy that new planner, do all of those things, and then can't follow it for more than a week.
Thank you. Yes. I was talking about that last week. It's like I can get you about April with a good calendar plan. By the time May comes, calendar? What calendar?
And then we have so many things that cause our executive dysfunction. It can be sensory overwhelm. It could be mental overwhelm. It could be too much processing or not enough processing, or our executive dysfunction has, I think, I saw a study, and this is just being studied for that combination of ADHD. They say that executive dysfunction can be 30 to 40 times harder for somebody with ADHD, even though they can function 60 to 80% at a higher level than your average person the other 10% of the time. We're either unable to or over able to. It's not much in between that. So we also have the extreme intent interest of both ADHD and autism, like extreme, but we probably have 40 things that we're like that on, not just one. So we're always bouncing between them, and nobody knows what info version you're going to get today. Are you going to get executive function, Danielle? Are you going to get fantasy book reader, Danielle? Are you going to get author, Danielle? Are you going to get musician, Danielle? Depends on what my interest is today.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. I'm one of those people that I get hyper focused, and then I can't stand an interruption. An interruption from someone else can just completely shatter
your whole... You go to meltdown. Absolutely.
Yeah. Which sometimes is not the appropriate place to go to. So that's when you choose masking while you figure it out. And I use that term. I choose masking to prevent the meltdown so I can figure out the next step and take the breath to release the frustration. Okay, go handle the interruption, come back and get so in tune that I don't hear anything around me. My girls would laugh at me and they're like, wait a minute, Mom, you don't like noise, but you can sit in the middle of an airport and read. How is that possible?
So I will, if somebody talks to me, I will lose it if I'm hyper focusing. However, I am a heavy metal girl. My husband and I were musicians for years, so heavy metal. I'm listening to Iron Maiden and Metallica and doom metal and all of that. I can listen to that all day long while I'm working and be able to focus. It helps me focus and everything. But if somebody talks to me, forget it. I'm done. I'm gone. Unless I want to talk while I'm working, and then you can't shut me up.
Yeah, right.
So
there are no rules. There
are no rules. And my poor husband, there are days where I'm sure he's very confused at which wife he's getting. But we learn to adapt, and we also learn to, sometimes we do have to choose to mask in order to get ourselves back to a stability point in the situation we need to pull ourselves out of or put ourselves into, whatever it is. But sometimes we also need to learn to say, I was doing something. I really need you to back away for 10 minutes and I will be with you, so that we can create that transition times, which our transitions are horrible for everybody on the spectrum, ADHD, autism, ADHD. So we need this transition process, and having people around us, even our neurotypicals around us, understand that we just need a few minutes to transition into whatever it is you needed to do.
Yes, exactly. I just wanted to go back for one moment, because this is where the ADHD and the autism fight each other in my brain. And that is where I love rules, but I hate to follow rules that someone else has created. Mm-hmm. So I love my rules, but I don't like someone else's rules. Right?
Yes, we have that. Oh, or we've imposed a rule on ourselves and now we don't want to do it because we imposed a rule on ourselves. That's an even better one. A lot of us really struggle with that, and it's finding balance. And a lot of times I've learned with my clients and with myself, if I understand the rule, if I know why the rule is in place and what the purpose of the rule is, I'm okay. However, I have also learned you do not question a neurotypical. Why is this rule in place? I don't care if it's I'm not asking if it's ethical according to my standards or morally right or any of that. I'm just asking why, so I can process it. I'm not fighting you. I'm not telling you I'm not going to do it. I just need to know why. And when I know why, I'm much more capable of going, oh, that's why I need to do that. That's why I'll follow that rule. But if it doesn't have a why, and if it's nonsensical and not logical, forget it. That's never going to happen.
Right. Oh, one of the things I do is I coach cashiers at a store. That's why I went into this position, because Dollar Tree happens to bring in a lot of autistic workers. And so I said, well, I can get paid and I can coach at the same time. And one of the cashiers had a squeaky toy, which can drive me crazy. That's a sound that just always drives me crazy. And this same individual can't concentrate when you're talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
I said to them, how is it that you can squeak a toy, but you can't stand in conversations? And the answer I got was like, yeah, of course. He said, because I'm squeaking the toy. I'm in control of the noise. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, bingo. That's exactly what it is. So I mean, my why was a rhetorical question, trying to get them to process why. And they said, because I'm controlling the noise. When someone else talks to us, we're not controlling that input. When we're talking, we can control the input. So it's all about understanding where we are at in our processing to know whether or not we can have a big meltdown when someone else interrupts us because we're in that hyper focus or such. So this is where body doubling, just working side by side, someone can read our expressions and say, I know you want to say something, but you're in the middle. When we can talk. And that's what neurodivergent person understands. I get it. Okay, you're in the middle of something. Whereas a neurotypical person might say to us, I don't care. This is my time. I'm going to talk to you. It's like, no.
I just need my brain to transition into this conversation. Shut up for a minute so I can do that.
Exactly.
I'm not ignoring you. I'm not being rude. I'm not being mean. I just need a minute to transition, or 10 minutes. I might need 10 minutes, but I just need that time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So tell us, I know you really kind of dove into it a lot. Body juggling is effective for dopamine, so is all of our happiness. It's helpful.
No, dopamine is our motivation. It is what
Oh,
gives us
okay.
motivation. And then we have endorphins, which is our happy. Endorphins give us our energy and things like that. Serotonin is our happiness.
That's
And
so
it,
happiness, yes.
and also we regulate and we decrease our stress by about 60 to 80%. They're finding in studies. There's been a lot of studies by like quite a few medical organizations on body doubling and how it increases our capacity to do a lot of things and it decreases stress.
Okay. Okay. Good. 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 Now, what are some of the things that another individual can help us learn when we're in a body doubling room? What does set us up with how people come into the room and how they might work while they're in a body doubling situation?
So they come in and we say, hey, how are you today? How are you feeling today? First, we figure out what is your capacity today so that we get you to recognize your own patterns. What's your capacity today? What can you handle today? If you can't put a full sentence together, then maybe trying to work today is not a good idea. So, you gotta make sure that you're doing those things.
Right. Okay.
Number two, how you doing today? Like, how you actually doing today? What's the thing that's overwhelming you? Let's help you get out of overwhelm with that thing first. Are you overwhelmed because you can't decide what to make for dinner tonight and it's 8 o'clock in the morning? Okay, let's walk you through what you could do. I can help you with that. We can remove the barriers, the decision fatigue, the anxiety, the frustration. And then if you're an entrepreneur, you can come in and say, I've got so many things to do today, but I don't know what to work on. I'll walk you through. Well, where are you in your business? What's the major fires? What are things that you need to do? Where do you need help today? And we had somebody come in yesterday that their website wasn't working and they couldn't figure it out. So I walked her through how to fix her website and we got her website fixed. How much stress does that relieve to have somebody help you through those things? And we have a rule in our body doubling, 5-minute rule. If you can't figure out how to do something in 5 minutes or less, then you come in and you ask, because there is somebody who's going to know how to do it so that you don't have to figure it out, because we get stuck trying to figure things out. And then we get to such, is this the right decision? Should I do it this way? There's 12 websites to say to do it 12 different ways. Which one is the right way? And we get stuck in the what's the right way. And one of us could look at it and go, oh, I've done this before. I can help you do it this way. We know it works because I've done it and I've proven it.
That's great.
And the other part of it is just having people in there who get it. We can have somebody, an entrepreneur, come in and go, oh my gosh, I posted something on social media and somebody was such a jerk about it. And we'll be like, oh my gosh, ignore them. They're being dumb. You can hide their comments. Let's go through, do that. Or somebody can come in and say, I have to do my marketing. I haven't done marketing in a week. I feel so bad. And they're stuck in that shame loop. We can get them out of the shame loop first, because that's number one. Emotional stability is number one. And the two, we'll help you write your marketing for you.
Yeah. How about making financial decisions in entrepreneur? Is that something that is done?
We talk about that often. There are two of us that do financial literacy, and we do it very differently because we're neurodivergent. So the Dave Ramsey stuff and the you need a budget stuff does not work for our brains most of the time. So we do a lot of financial literacy, and we also built into our app, we built budgeting things that are super easy so that it's not overwhelming and 9 million buttons and 20 things you got to find, 20 things you got to do. We've made it super easy to do those things and provide the systems that work. And if our system doesn't work, we'll help you create one that does.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Now, when someone comes to you, and I'm just putting out one other area where I find I struggle, conflicting information.
So this is where having somebody who is steps ahead of you, like I've been doing this 25 years, I'll say, oh, don't never do it this way. Here's 5 ways I've done it. Let's narrow it down and figure out, one, what works for your brain is going to work for you. Because if your brain can't do it and keep following through and doing the task, you're never going to keep it up. So why bother doing it that way? Number 2, I've done it. I know it works. or somebody else has done it and they know it works. So instead of all of that, and I will tell you a secret, which is also really horrible when you're ADHD, there is no one way or right way or wrong way to do your business.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is there are 5,000 ways to do one task. So which one do I do? But the thing is, there is no right or wrong way to do it. So
you
let's
can't get it
choose
wrong.
the thing that works best for your brain and how you operate. That's the right way to do it for you.
That's great. Oh, I think my listeners, those people who are out there who are trying to get anything accomplished, and they wake up in the morning and then they're like, I have all these things I want to do. I have all these things I want to do. And then they sit down in a chair, pick up their phone, and then they're lost for hours.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas instead, they can enroll in your membership. Have a list. Okay, I want to do my marketing today. I want to finish writing my like for me, I'm just gonna pull this big from what I'm doing. I'm working on creating an A to Z community guide, and I'm working on how to create meetings based on how to do it. And I'm like, I'll have these 3 things. So help us to motivate someone to sign up for your membership, because this is going to be the answer that they didn't realize they needed, but it's going to make a world of difference for them. Help them to understand that joining body doubling is their answer that they never knew was out there.
So thank you. Thank you for letting me share. So it's ndhive.com, and we've tried to keep it as affordable as possible. It is $49.99 a month. You get 10 hours a day of body doubling, Monday through Friday, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays we had a couple more hours at night. We've got I don't remember the times right now. That's gone out of my head. We have a couple more hours on Tuesdays and Thursday nights because we've got people who want to work in the evenings again after the kids go to bed, or that's just when their brain works best. And we also have people in Australia who join us at night because that's their morning time. So we have people all over the world. So you've got about 58 hours a week of body doubling with coaches. So we are all certified coaches, and there's at least one coach in every body doubling session. Sometimes a lot of the coaches, when they're not on the clock, they still come in because they're running their own businesses and doing their own thing. So they're in using body doubling. We practice what we preach. I'm in all day long. I need body doubling just as much as every single person in my membership does. Then we have the app, which the app, like I said, does 32 different things. But I show you how to do it so it's less overwhelming for you, so you can pick and choose what you want and what works for you or what doesn't work for you. We ignore things that don't work for us. So you've got 50 hours, 8 hours a week of certified coaches who are all neurodivergent themselves. They're all entrepreneurs themselves, and we've been there, done that. And then you have the app, and then we do trainings, and we have all kinds of inside the app. We have over 600 little bits of information. What are strengths and weaknesses of ADHD, autism? What are strengths? How do I talk to my boss? How do I talk to my partner? How do I share this PDA or RSD or this that I'm working with? We have all kinds of content for you to read and understand your own brain and to share with your partners, your mom, your doctor, your therapist, your boss, all of those things. We have over 1,200 articles on our website that are mini trainings for everybody, worksheets and quizzes. We have all of that available to everybody in the membership, and we do extra things. We do extra challenges. We do all kinds of extra things. We're learning how to, in 2 weeks, we're going to be doing a big AI challenge using AI to decrease decision fatigue and increase our executive function. So I'm going to be teaching people how to use AI properly with guardrails.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. There are so many people afraid of AI right now, and I get it from an environmental standpoint, but I also get it from how handy it can be. So I'm on both sides of the bridge, and sometimes navigating and helping people understand that it is the evolution of our world. And yes, we can be very discerning on how we use it, but if we use it correctly, it can be a great tool. So
it can be an amazing tool, and I think there's both extremes of people who are using it way too much and for way too many things, and then you've got people who are terrified of using it. It's going to kill us all. I mean, some of us were raised on Terminators, so we do have a little bit of fear there. But understanding how things like this, when you are disabled, we do have disabilities with ADHD and autism and ADHD and all of that, and we need better systems and better ways to operate. And AI can really be a big part of that. My brother is profoundly deaf and ADHD, and I love to see how they're using AI in the deaf community to do so many different things. And it's really cool to see how AI can be an amazing support system for us.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what I like to tell people to do is just the emotional brain dump at the end of the night so that you can sleep. And I have found a world of difference, even personally. You just put out what's bothering you as you're going to bed at night. And a lot of people are like, oh, turn off electronics. You're going to get a negative for every positive. And that's what I want to tell people is you're going to get a negative reaction to every positive. So do you is what I would say. You do you. And if you're the type of person who has trouble falling asleep because you have all those ideas, do the emotional brain dump. Get it out. And you'll find that when you have someone to talk to, I mean, I literally talk to my AI like it's my next best friend, per se, where I can just talk. And yes, you do have to be careful. Sometimes it gets a little bit over flourish with its positivity, but take the impact of what it's saying to you, and then you realize you can go to sleep a lot easier. Now, you're right. There are people that are creating nonsensical movies on a daily basis. And yeah, you got to be a little bit more careful with how you do that. And then there are groups of people who are like, don't use AI pictures. They're just using up all the water. So this is where the conflicting information can come in, but you have to do you. You have to make the discerning decision. I will use it for this. I won't use it for that. But anyway, I wanted to bring that out because your program on AI is going to be so impactful to people to understand where to use it, when to use it, and how to understand that you got to do it for your own needs.
Exactly. And you have to do it in a way that makes sense for you. Everybody needs something different. Everybody, like, again, what works best for your brain. It always comes back to what works best for your brain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, DaniMarie, can you tell me anything you'd like to say that we have not discussed yet on our podcast?
I think one of the biggest things that makes me successful in my life, in my marriage, as a mom, as an ADHD woman, human in the world, is learning that I can't do it on my own effectively all of the time. I mean, sometimes I can. Sometimes I could take over the world without a problem. But to understand that help is not a sin to ask for, and that's not this horrible thing. Ask for the help, get the support, and don't. The one thing I also had to learn as an entrepreneur is don't try to get your bestie to help you because you will never get anything done.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good idea. You're always going to not be getting things done. Definitely invest in the help that you're going to get. Pay for that community, and it's not just my community. There are a lot more other communities out there for you. Get yourself, invest in your support system, because when you invest in it, you're more likely to use it.
Absolutely. I do have to agree with that. You are more likely to push it, except in exercise. Sometimes we need that push on doing exercising, even if we do pay for it. But that's another topic. But body doubling could help you with that as well. Okay, we're going to do the Tai Chi walking now or something.
We actually have a yoga instructor in our that is one of our ADHD coaches. So she's going to actually start doing, as part of our membership, she's going to start doing yoga.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
That is not a me thing. I don't do yoga. Nope, not happening. But there are people that want to do that, and you are more than welcome.
Well, there you go. So now your exercise listeners can also be part of the body doubling. So you don't even have to go anywhere. You can be in your pajamas and do your exercising at the same time.
Exactly.
That's the beauty of the internet is that you come as you are. You come as
Yes.
you are. And if someone's going to judge you, then they're not your people.
Right. Exactly.
Always saying that. So, oh, this has been wonderful. I'd love to have you send me the link if you can, so that I can put it under your picture in the Aspie Bridge Facebook group page, which I'd love to have all of you listeners go to that page. I put all of the information there versus having you comment on the YouTube, so that I can, that comes naturally to me. And every time someone posts, it goes right to me. And you're able to go to each individual guest and say, hey, I love the way you said this, or I have a question about that. And by going to DaniMarie's or to Ed Finch's or any of the other coaches I've had and said, I really have a question about this topic, that's a great place to go, because you'll get more specialized than you might on YouTube. Yes, you can comment on YouTube if you like, but if you want more direct or quicker answers, the Facebook group page, the Aspie Bridge, just like this channel, is a great place to go. And I would love to have you subscribe to this channel. I would love to see my viewership go up exponentially by January 21st, 2027. So if you can help me by spreading the word and saying, that's a place I can go to get help.
Absolutely. I would love that. I hope to see some of you there. We do have a 7-day free trial, so you get to come in and test it out for free for 7 days first. We also have a lifetime membership. I think it's $4.97. So you can pay for it one time and just use it for life and never have to worry about paying a monthly bill and all of that stuff too, because people ask me for that. But we're here. We're here. Come test us out for 7 days. It's absolutely free. We would love to have you.
That sounds great. Well, you heard it, everyone. Now you don't have to go it alone. You can go with help. And it's not just in business, it's in every part of your life. Because when you're feeling healthy in every part of your life, your business will flow a lot easier. I can almost guarantee you that much. That when everything else is in balance, not perfect, as I say, nothing is perfect, but when you can find that balance, your business will also go there, or it will help your relationships if you work for someone else go better. So I want to say thank you to DaniMarie for coming today. I've been looking forward to this guest for a while now, and I hope you'll come back. I have another wonderful guest next week who will help you with their methods of how to become a successful entrepreneur, ND entrepreneur. So I want to say thank you to everybody today. Thank you for coming, DaniMarie.
Thank you for having me.
Do you prefer DaniMarie or Danielle?
Does not bother. Either is fine. Does not bother.
Okay. I always like to check and make sure. But I want to say thank you, and I hope you'll come to the Aspie Bridge page, everybody, and join our community there. That's the first start to get all the information, and then from there you can go in any direction that you feel you need to have answered. That's the purpose of the Aspie Bridge, to connect you to bridge builders who can help you become successful. And I want to say thank you for coming this week, and I hope I'll see you next week. Have a great day.
Have a great day.